see here is we've got a soil that's basically very low in porosity and very few roots in it. A solid structure, very dense. There's very few visible pores, and as a result of that, the roots really aren't getting through and into that profile at all. There's a few very small areas where there's one or two roots, but it's generally very barren. So in effect, absence of anything growing through that winter period, or late autumn winter period into spring. You know, we had a lot of heavy rain, so the naturally high silt content of these soils always slumps under those conditions where we haven't got that root action and that growing plant action. Okay, so if you look here for a start, you can see considerably more roots than we had before. When we were looking in that other plot, we've got a lot more developed root in the crop itself in that surface. It's still quite low in porosity, but it's got a significant amount more roots through it. So you can see that there. I struggle to break that other the soil up in the other profile here. I can pull it apart. Each time I pull it apart and finding roots. So clearly the cover crop has done its work. We've established it. It's then started to open the soil up, and that process of every time the soil wets up, the cover crop can extract a bit of the moisture. It dries slightly. You get that wet-dry cycling, which is a classical way of structuring a soil, shrinking, swelling slightly. And that's the benefit of the cover, because we've actually got something going on in there. There's some living action going on in there. And it's the amount of roots in that profile that then will show you whether they've just extracted the water and it's become tough, or is in actual fact it's compacted. And you can see the way I can easily break this apart, and I'm quite deep now. I'm right in the middle. James will show you in a minute that original control block we had, but you can see here the amount of even more visible porosity we've got, and roots extending right the way through, far more volume of roots. It's even visibly a little bit more porous. So in effect what we've got here is it's almost a synergistic type relationship. We've got now metal and roots. The metal is allowing the roots to get through of the cover and do their job as efficiently as they can, and now the roots of this crop are really exploiting that all the way through to depth. You know, we can go right the way down into this profile where there were very few roots before, and in here you can see roots present all the way down through.
Okay, so I've got again the section of profile from the very first one where we had the autumn fallow, and I'll compare it with this one where we've had autumn subsoiling with a heaver before broadcasting the cover crop onto the surface. And again, if we put them side by side, you can see how dense this one's looking, how much more porous this is, and there's a lot stronger rooting obviously where the metal has allowed the roots through, and with the assistance of the cover crop, the combination of the two. And some people will say, you know, why do we need a cover crop? And if you look at these two again, you know, it is chalk and cheese. There's a hell of a lot of roots here on this spring wheat crop, and this one where we've got black grass here, just pull it off. It's hardly rooted. It wasn't anchored at all. It's not giving us any benefit of leaving anything, and this is why using a cover crop with that root mass is making all of the difference.